Welcome to Smacky's Garage. Today we're going to cover how to pick the right speedometer gear for your classic Mustang and then how to install it on a top loader in the vehicle behind me. Alright, so the site that I like to use to figure out what's the right speedometer gear is 428cobrajet.org. It's a good site. I've used this calculator in the past and it's been accurate for me. Other sites do have it where you can go in there and you can type in the important parts of your vehicle. That'll change the speedometer gear. It'll change the end ratio to the speedometer and tell you what gear you need to buy. So the one that we're going to use is 428cobrajet.org, and we're going to walk through it step by step. Now here are the 6 different items that go into the calculating the speedometer gear size and making sure that it's accurate. The first is the tire section width. This is going to be the width of your rear tires in millimeters. It's going to be listed on the sidewall of the tire. Now I'm going to make the assumption that you know this, but we're talking about the rear tire because that's where the speedometer is hooked up to. So on my vehicle, it's 245. The aspect ratio, so it's how tall the tire is, also there, 60. And then the wheel diameter. On my wheel, it's 15 inches. Your rear axle ratio is here. Your transmission type, I'm running a 4-speed manual, and I do not have a speedometer gear adapter. So if I look at the first one, I'm going to say, assuming you're running a 350, now here's what is the output of it. So let's take a look. If you're running a 245 tire with a 60% aspect ratio, 15-inch wheel diameter, 3.5 to 1 rear end ratio, and a 4-speed manual, you're going to end up using driven gear will be 16 teeth, which will be orange or white, and the drive gear will be 6 teeth. It'll be pink. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the driven gear, so the gear on the outside. So we need a 16 tooth gear. Now I'm going to go back one, and we're going to do what happens if you're running a 3.0 to 1. Now if you're running a 3.0 and you're on this car, now if we look at the 3.0 to 1, you can see where it's 16 teeth with a 7-tooth drive gear. Now what the drive gear is, it's going to be the gear that's around the tail of the transmission itself. So to replace it, it's more involved than if you're just taking out the speedometer gear here. So I'm going to end up changing the speedometer gear on it, and we're going to see how close we can get. On the speedometer driven gear, it's typically a left-hand rotation that's being used when it's on the passenger side on a transmission like the 4-speed. Pretty sure the 3-speed AOD, the T5 and everything use a right-hand rotation. Let's get under the car and check it out. So transmission here. Where we're going to be working is right here. So here's the tail of the transmission. This is the place where the speedometer gear is, and it is screwed in, tightened here. There's nothing holding it in here. It looks like there might be a bolt that's broken there. So we're gonna pull this out, inspect it, and see what it looks like. I think removing this bolt here and then taking a screwdriver, prying this out will be good. It doesn't look like it's, oh, it is coming out. Oh, that's not good. It is semi-loose. So not good, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get it ready to get replaced. So with the gear out, you can see that there's a clip here. So we're gonna take a screwdriver. We're actually gonna pry that clip off to remove this gear, and it should just come off the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a flat blade and I'm gonna pry that out. Now with that clip off, I should be able to just pull it off easily. All right, so we're off. And the gear should just slip right down the shaft. Now after you have that in place, you can feel it's rotating okay. I'm going to take the clip and I'm going to push the clip in location. So I got the clip, I'm going to take it, I'm going to push the clip in. This clip will hold it on this itself. Okay, so I have that in place. Now I should be able to just push this right back in and it should engage better. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to slide it up and in. Oh, would you look at that? It slid further all the way in now that's in place. But it's in place now, so I have the right one in. Should be okay. So I there is supposed to be a bracket here. I can feel a screw hole, not a screw hole, but a broken screw here. So I'm gonna need to take this out or take an easy out to replace it. But if you have a bracket, you'll take this out, you'll put the bracket over the top of it, and then you will screw it down. So what do we learn from this? So a few things. The bracket that holds the speedometer gear and the cable in place is broken. It's not there. It looks like that there's a screw that's stripped and damaged, so that needs to get replaced at some point. You know, I've been wanting to take the transmission out to rebuild it because it's hard to get into fourth gear right now. And with that, it's, you know, you almost have to double clutch it to get into fourth gear, or you need to go in at the right RPM. Syncros don't feel as smooth. So this was a simple way to show how to put the speedometer gear in. And like every project that we do on this channel, we always find something wrong and something else that needs to get fixed. So thanks for tuning in to Smacky's Garage. I'll see you next time.